Hello and welcome to another Tech Articles. In this article, we're going to be talking about FluentCRM and email marketing. I'm using the free version of FluentCRM here. I am going to deactivate my utility plugin because it does make some changes to FluentCRM to make it better for me, but I want to do this with stock FluentCRM. So I'm going to deactivate that. And I create something called UUPD, and I've just recently released a version 2.0 alpha, and I realized I'd never set a newsletter set up for it, and I had no way to communicate to users other than through GitHub how to do that, and that's short-sighted of me. But it meant for the first time in a while I've had to build a new template for email marketing. I have them for my businesses, but they've been set up for years. And in some cases, they are less adaptable than what I've done for this one. And this one I've designed to work how I now work. I prefer to write my newsletter updates in Word, as you would, or maybe even in Markdown nowadays, using a Markdown editor. And I then like to convert them over to HTML and put them into the newsletter that way. And one of the things I've used a lot in newsletters, i.e. to include recent posts or offer details, or even just things like what your current license status is for one of my plugins. I've used Smart Codes to do that, and when I went to design this new newsletter, I thought I'd go heavy on Smart Codes and make the entire of the HTML pretty much modifiable via Smart Codes, and that's what I've done. So it was all for UUPD, and that's why there's a lot of UUP branding in it, because that's what I designed it for. And once I'd finished it, I thought to myself that it would make quite a good video to show you what can be done using Smart Codes, and that they are more powerful than you think they are, because they substitute data at send, and in this case I'm able to substitute data based on other information, i.e. users or tags, even more so because of the way it's written in terms of the smart code. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up FluentCRM in a new tab, and I'm going to email templates. So we have the UUPD template here, and we're just going to quickly view this. You'll see here it's just a standard template with a brand, an image, a hi there, I believe, with a smart tag for first name. This is what would be the title. Then there'd be the rest of the body here. Then there's a call to action at the bottom. So all relatively simple stuff. And you'll notice here that there are the normal smart tags, and one of those is, as I said, first name. And I think if we go find hi there, should be up here somewhere. There, hi there. So that's contact first name. That's using a smart tag that comes smart code that comes automatically with FluentCRM. So I'm going to open WP CodeBox, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate a snippet, and that's this snippet here. And this adds some more shortcodes for my UUPD template. I'm just going to refresh the page, and you'll now see in my smart codes I have a new set of smart codes, and they are brand, title, main HTML, hero image URL, hero image alt text, CTA URL, CTA label. And on the front end, brand, image, title, HTML, CTA, title, and where it goes to is the link. Same here. This is the image, and there'll be an alt tab to it as well. So there's quite a few tags running on this page. I don't have to use every one of them because it's a filter that allows me to filter them. So if we go back to WP CodeBox, they're actually filterable in terms of their content. So the content is built, and then I've made a filter to allow me to whack that out and change it. And that is what makes it so powerful. And I've done the same here in terms of individual values as well. So that I could filter them again based on a user or a tag or some other system, maybe registered and non-registered, it gives me more options in terms of how I can apply those filters in terms of individual content. So this one does all emails, and this one does individual emails just before they're sent. And that's pretty much it. So that's all set up, and that's how it looks. So this is what it looks like currently. If we go back to WP CodeBox, if I have pull what was my 2.0 alpha announcement, and I save that, it's a filter running on that apply filter. We've got a title, a message, HTML, image URL, image alt, and these are just pick some images, a CTA URL, and a CTA label. And if we go back to our template and view now, we've got our brand, an image. They're there because it's not actually got anybody attached to it. All our data ready to go. Our link and our URL are all working, and we've got our traditional unsubscribe and manage preferences option for FluentCRM. And that's all with the power of a filter. So now I can write it, do it, and apply the code, or in an AI world, give it a copy of the filter, give it a copy of my newsletter, and probably in about 15 seconds it will give me a revised version. It is really not complicated. It doesn't have to think about it. It types a hell of a lot faster than I type. So it makes doing this easier. I have one template. I can change the contents of that template via a filter via WP CodeBox in a matter of seconds. And just to show you that in action a few times, I'm going to disable this one. Now these next ones are all done by ChatGPT. I gave them a copy of the original filter, and I asked it for 4 examples with some other options, some without brand, some with brand. And I said make it up. Basically, I wanted them to be for random different types of newsletters and software, and this is all generated by ChatGPT. I don't know if any of it's true. Some of them are real products. So if I save this one, and if I go over to the template and view the template, you'll see now the content's changed. Still UUPD up here because in our filter here, there is no brand, so it sticks with the defaults. Now, if I didn't have a default, it wouldn't output anything at all. So that's that one. And if I turn that one off, and if I enable this one, you'll see here we get a brand change. So back to our template, back to our view, and this time it's now branded Cartflow, and we get a new update with new upsells and a different link to example.com/cartflows. And that's pretty much how it works. You can see how quickly you can change the content here before your email goes out. And again, another one is done. But there's also benefits to the way this system works. We can do things you just can't do in other setups. So let's say I want the option to have a logo up here rather than the output of UUPD. So if I remove the UUPD, so I've got to find that in the code, and it's going to be somewhere up here with this block. Here it is. So if I remove the default option of UPDD first and then save that, oh, that's because I think it's still on. So let me turn that off. Default must be in the actual shortcode. That's fine, because what we can do here just to test that is the case is if I take this here, go like this, make this brand, make it empty, save that, we're now going to get no brand. That fits what we wanted to try and do. So let's say I want to put a Tech Articles logo up here rather than that brand. Now we're good to go. So let's make a couple of changes first, and I'm going to actually undo what we've just done there, and I'm going to fix that in the template. So I'm going to go to the template here that actually runs the smart codes, and where it says a brand, I'm going to change that to nothing, and I'm going to add one more here. So what I'm going to add here is, I'll do it right at the bottom. I'm going to add a label of logo. I'm just going to copy these down. I'm just going to put that as main logo, and I'm just going to copy that and paste that right at the bottom, and I'm going to put logo URL, and I'm going to put logo alt, no capitals really, L, and I'm just going to, for naming convention, try and keep these. I don't really need these to be neat, but I will. Main logo alt, main logo, so main logo alt, main logo URL. So that's all that done. Now I need to add those down to here. So I'm just going to, again, grab these that we've just done. I'm going to put these down here. I'm going to line these up, and I'm just going to copy exactly what is here. So for our URL, that one here, and I'm just going to take this one to logo alt. And that's that done there. So we've now got 2 additional smart tags that we are adding to our items. I just now need to make a switch case for them both. So they are logo alt and logo URL. I'm just going to grab this one here and make this one logo URL. And I'm just going to do the same again and make this one logo alt. I'm going to save them. And that should be good. So I'm going to refresh our screen. Let's check our smart codes, and we should have 2 new ones called main logo alt, main logo URL, which we do. And this begins to show you the power of how this works. And then I'm going to grab this image here, and then I'm going to rewrite it off screen. Give me a second. It was UUPD logo alt, logo URL, logo go. Don't need any defaults. And I'm going to copy that, and then we're going to find that where we removed that brand here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push enter, and I'm going to add in this image here. And then I'm going to save that template and view that template. And you see here we've now got a logo alt and our image, because there's no default here. So you can see here we've got our defaults there. And actually, if I go over to WP CodeBox, and I'm actually going to remove the defaults from this so that they're empty. I'm going to review our page, and you'll see it doesn't appear, neither of them appear as need be. So that's it. We've made a change to our template. We've made a change to our smart tags. The next thing we need to do is make a change to our filter. And if I want to go to media, I think I have a tech articles logo here. I do. I'm going to copy that URL to the clipboard. We're going to go to WP CodeBox, and we're going to modify this one here. And I'm going to add in a new set of content. I just want to copy that URL while I do that. Just going to copy this. In fact, I'm going to copy these ones here and paste them up here. They don't have to be up here, they can be at the bottom. I'm just putting them here because it's logical. We want this to be our icon or our URL. And in terms of our alt, we'll just put tech articles. So, and I just need to change these to logo so they match our naming conventions. Alt, I think logo's alt's the right one. Just check logo. Oh, yeah. And then I'm going to save that, and I'm going to activate that. Now, if we go back to our template and view, you'll see we get a nice Tech Articles logo here, but everyone else will only show what they have. So this one doesn't have a brand, but this one does, but it doesn't have any logo. And if I was to then refresh this screen, you see it goes back to cart flows and the image. And now you can start to begin to see just how powerful a filter applied to your smart code is. By doing this, what we effectively allow ourselves to be able to do is swap out dynamically what is done. So if you have one template and you want to use it across several brands, you could do exactly what I've just done there. You can see how quick the branding changes between this basic update email, and if I wanted a fully branded email, I could just switch the filter type over to this one and reload my image, and you'll see I get my Tech Articles logo and no UUPD up there. And this works all the way through. So I'm going to save the template. I'm going to do a campaign. I'm going to create a new campaign. Test, we're going to call this. I only have one email address installed on here. We're going to import a template, and that template is going to be that UUPD template. We can preview what it looks like here, and it says hi there. And what we're going to do is we're now going to take this through the process. So we're good to go. Continue to subjects and settings. I'm going to change this to UUPD Alpha launch. I'm not going to send a test email. We're going to go right the way through to recipients. I'm going to select all those on the UUPD list for tags. I'm going to continue. It says I've got one recipient. It shows me what it looks like without the tag on, without the filter on. Go to WP CodeBox and check it's on. It is on. And then we're going to send our email. And that will now send our email, and our email has been sent. You'll see here it shows a copy of the template as it is, not as it's populated. And we should get an email any second now in here with the actual details on it. And there's the Tech Articles logo with our image, which is a random pixel image, which means it changes every time it loads, which is something I love about sending out random images. And every email would have a different image. They wouldn't be the same images. They would all be different. So I like Pixum for that sort of thing. And we've got a fully working email directly from FluentCRM with nothing but a little bit of code and a template. And that shows you the benefit of smart tags and being able to switch them out. I hope you found that video useful. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. Please do leave your comments below. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching.